Hello, and welcome to the 6th installment of my DevLog series, From Paper to Playable. If you haven't already, I encourage you to check out my other videos in the series to get some background on the project I'm currently working on. At the end of my last DevLog, I showed you my laundry list of bugs to fix and features to tighten up. Well, I went through them all and checked them off. I'd like to take you through the updates I've made. This task took the longest to complete, all because I was overthinking and not researching the issue properly. I implemented an entire dialogue system into a timeline, when in reality, all I needed to do was create a text message pro game object and an image object for the text background, and in the timeline, make an activation track so that the text would appear at a certain keyframe for a certain length of time, and then disappear at another keyframe, and then repeat this step for each block of dialogue. And this ended up being exactly what I was looking for, since my opening cutscene was really simple. The second update I made was tightening the enemy hit animations in the animator controller. This was another issue that I also had a bit of trouble figuring out. Not for overthinking, but just for the pure fact of playing around with the animator controller, the animation transitions, and where and how to trigger those transitions in my script. I ended up switching my isHit parameter from a boolean to a trigger. This transition occurred when my arrow projectile collided with my enemy game object in the onTriggerEnter2D function. Then, I needed the hit animation to play, but what ended up happening was that it would freeze. The animation would freeze. In order to make the animation transition back to the enemy walk animation, I used a bool parameter called isRun and set the boolean value to true in my onTriggerExit2D function. This was my simplest fix of the entire list. What was happening was, during my opening cutscene, the wizard sprite would clip through the stone wall background. And this happened simply because the sprite I used during the timeline for the cutscene was on a layer behind the stone wall sprites. So all I had to do was change the order layer on my wizard sprite to be in front of setting a higher value integer in the order layer than my stone wall sprite. Fourth update I made was fixing the boss's death animation so that it wouldn't loop continuously. This was another case of playing around with the animation transitions in the animator controller. It was all about using proper transition parameters and setting those parameters in the correct function in my script. Now, after playing around with tightening the enemy hit animations, I had a better idea of how to tackle this update, and it turned out not to be too bad. Now, at this point, not only is the game playable, but I feel confident enough in its current state to release it to others for playtesting. Along with the game, I will be sending the playtesters a sheet to fill out so I can gather more detailed information about their experience. My next devlog, episode 7, will be reviewing the playtesters' feedback and seeing what improvements we can make. And as always, thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more, please consider subscribing, and make sure to head on over to my Instagram and give a follow there. Have a great day, everybody!